come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. 3 is company too. Y'all, welcome back to The Moment Live. I'm your host, Meredith Lynch. I'm joined with Rebecca Sananès, and Dr. Sarah Oreck is back again for more fun. And there's so much happening, and we need to get into it. First off, we have some breaking news that we'll be sharing with you that's specific to The Moment Live. But after that, we're going to get into Spencer Pratt continues to run for mayor, despite all of our pleas not to. Mel Robbins, Reese Witherspoon, Demi Moore are all touting AI. And you know what AI is touting? Pollution as a mega data center goes up in Utah. PCOS is being renamed PMOS, and that's good news. Dr. Oreck will take us through that. And later, we are going to get into some of the questions, some of the headlines that you guys want us to talk about. Thanks so much for being here. We're going to have so much fun this morning. I'm going to kick it to Rebecca first because we have some breaking news that we want to talk about.
Yeah, well, we're caffeinated this morning because last night I'm, scrolling as one wants to do. And MS Now, which is MSNBC's rebrand, has announced their new lineup of shows. And look at what I see. Katie Tur has a new show called The Moment with Katie Tur, which looks suspiciously like the branding of this show, The Moment, which has been on since September. The reason I'm so upset about this is because I'm a journalist, first and foremost. I'm an Edward R. Murrow award-winning journalist. I have a master's in journalism. I've been doing this for 15 years. And I deeply believe in the craft of journalism and the ethics of journalism. And I'm going to call rule number 1 of journalism that you do not plagiarize. And I don't know, to me, this is pretty... Can we throw up that graphic one more time? It's not just that they called the show The Moment, where we will have similar guests that I'm sure Katie will have, but it's that they took our branding. Rule number 2 of journalism is that you fact check. I've also been a consultant for a long time, and I have never seen a show not go through rigorous checking of whether the IP already exists. So one of 2 possibilities here, Katie Tur. Either you plagiarized The Moment's branding, or you didn't fact check. And how you do one thing is how you do all things, to quote my mother getting me to make my bed when I was 8 years old. And how you are doing this, stealing or ignoring or thinking you can overturn women who are independently creating new news brands because they saw a hole in the market is frankly shameful. It's shameful. And I'm upset as a journalist because I spend a lot of time on this show and beyond defending legacy media and journalism because I think journalism is such an important part of our society and an important job. But when I see MS Now, a $1 billion company, come in and take something that we have worked like with our hands and our sweat, it's just not okay. MS Now is rebranding as MS for the People, and I want to know who exactly those people are, MS Now. So people are asking what they can do to help us out here. And first and foremost, this show's not going anywhere. I love making this show. We have built an amazing community of people. We've had amazing guests. We will keep doing this. The best thing you can do for us is subscribe to the show, support the show, share the show with your friends. And then if you're feeling spicy, you can go ahead and @ Katie Tur and MS Now and let them know that this is unacceptable as journalist consumers. So that's what I have to say about that. Should we get into the news?
Yeah, let's get into the news. Something that will get you just as fired up, I think.
Yeah.
Because you guys, we hit a nerve last week when we talked about Spencer Pratt running for mayor. People really thought that when we said good campaign that we meant good candidate. And I think those 2 differentials are so important.
Yep.
Because I can look at Trump's 2016 campaign and go, great campaign. I didn't
legitimately, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't buy into it.
Right.
But I see how people were swayed by it. And I also think ladies and gentlemen, let us never underestimate how much we hate women. Like that is like what is the common denominator in these races too? Is
women
that
of color.
Women, and then this one, is women of color, right?
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, but Spencer Pratt, I would actually say, while he is getting a lot of people who are excited about him and passionate about him, including unfortunately
Singing songs about him.
I know. Let's be honest.
Actually, we have a clip of that.
We have a clip and we'll get to it. But that's like, for Catherine McPhee, if you had to hang out with David Foster all day, I think Spencer Pratt would look really good to you as well.
100%.
Like, fuck that dude. He's actually, he's might be worse than Spencer.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I will say this. I think over the last week, while Spencer does have my dear friend Food God, flying in and supporting him. That was disappointing, Food God. Almost as disappointing as that upper bluff. Oh, it's going to get me blocked. But what I will say is I think he's starting to get a little bit of pushback.
I agree.
Hopefully.
Well, like in like a way that's really not just like people like us being like, no, not Spencer Pratt. First thing that came up was TMZ has really called him out because he has been claiming that he lives in this Airstream trailer, which to me, honestly, as somebody who shares a 1-bedroom apartment with a husband, I'm like, that looks like a fucking dream, that trailer. But anyway, now it's being alleged that Spencer lives at Hotel Bel Air, which is a beautiful, swanky hotel.
Yeah, right?
I know. So like of all the hotels, to live at, that would be the one that I would probably pick. But now it's being, and so TMZ did a live with Spencer, and I don't know, did you guys catch it?
I caught I caught the beginning of it while I was doing research today. Yeah, and he's like, well, I don't live anywhere. I sort of live everywhere, and like, he kind of like obfuscates, and he's like, well. And it's like, well, the point is that you clearly have some disposable income to be living in the Bel Air Hotel.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody else could be paying for that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know how that goes with campaign finance.
Yeah,
there's probably some misappropriation.
That's right.
Right? Exactly. Like, what do we think this is like the most by the book campaign? But here's what I will say when it comes to that. It's like, Harvey Levin, I got to give Harvey credit, was like, but you told us you live in the Airstream trailer.
Yes.
And he's like, well, I don't live anywhere because I don't have a home. And it's like, okay, so basically what we're trying to understand is, where do you sleep at night?
Yes,
we understand
that's right.
your home doesn't exist anymore. Right. But where do you sleep at night? And I think that Spencer either stays in Santa Barbara at his parents' house, which like, okay, fucking fine, right? Or he is in some hotel in Los Angeles. He's not sleeping.
So he's claiming to be unhoused?
He hasn't used those words. Okay. I'll give him credit there. No. He said, I don't have my house anymore, which is not untrue. Yeah. And so
just exploiting the wildfire.
Right. But
tragedy.
Exactly.
That's right.
But this idea, like, you can't, here's the thing that I'll say. If Karen Bass was saying, I live in this trailer, and then it came out that she was living in the Hotel Bel Air, that would be the biggest fucking headline everywhere. It wouldn't just be on TMZ.
That's right.
And Spencer did the Trump thing where he was like, it doesn't matter where I live. And it's like, well, it kind of does, because you told us that's where you live.
And you kicked off your campaign saying this, right?
Right.
He had compelling...
that's his anchor.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And then also, okay, this is the headline that really tripped me out. Did you see this? That apparently he's got cameras following him around for a reality TV show.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that doesn't shock me, because I don't feel like that's that shocking, because to me, I'm like, that's like his version of a documentary, and there's been so many people who have had documentaries filmed about their campaigns. Like, this to me, I see this and I'm like, this is a nothing burger to me.
But I'm convinced that if Netflix offered him a huge deal, he'd be out of this race.
Oh, I was going to say, here's why it bothers me, is I think what is compelling about his campaign is that he's come out and he said, I'm just a guy whose house burned down because of city negligence, and so I'm standing up to get into politics. And then I see this, and I'm like, I'm just a reality TV star who was offered a bunch of money to do something interesting over the next 6 months, so I'm running for mayor.
That's the plot.
That's what, right? Like, I'm like,
that's what his sister says.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. It's he just wants to stay relevant.
He wants to stay relevant, and maybe he surprised himself by how much traction he's gotten as mayor. But when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is a compelling plot for a reality TV show,
Yes.
and he's probably getting money for this.
Well, it's the Trump narrative, right? He just wanted a show.
Yeah, exactly. Give him a show.
Just give
He's
him a
had
show.
a few shows. They don't ever do anything.
I
But
know.
Heidi
has to be the star, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at pictures of Heidi last night, like from the first season of The Hills. Such a
I know.
cute
I know.
fucking girl. And it's
Totally.
like, I think everyone should get the procedures that they want to get. Like, that's amazing. But it feels very suspect to me that Spencer comes on the scene and then all of a sudden her friends are like, this dude's trash, and she's getting everything done.
Well, do you remember also?
Yes.
I remember that season turn where all of a sudden you were like, what did Heidi
body
do?
dysmorphia. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I though wanted to talk a little bit about these AI ads that Spencer's been putting out. So
Please.
there's the AI video that Spencer's making that's like a powerful movie about his home burning down, which uses AI. And then there's also these ones that Spencer's not creating these from everything I can understand, but he is uplifting them.
Yeah.
And they are AI images
Bizarre.
of Karen Bass, Kamala Harris, for reasons I don't understand, and Gavin Newsom. And they, there's this one where, people are throwing tomatoes at Karen Bass. There's one where I think it's Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom being drowned in the reservoir.
Oh, I didn't see
Fantastic.
that.
And,
Oof.
I saw Karen Bass
Political
on CNN.
violence, all we
Right.
need.
Well, that's the thing. Do you condone political violence? No. But here was my thing. This was actually the first time that I was like, oh, like Karen Bass, you're actually hitting it, because she was on CNN and she was like, these images, first of all, she was like, I get why his campaign is resonating with people. She was kind of like giving him some credit there.
Good,
Like,
yeah.
I know, like they were like, he's really popular. She's like, yeah, he is. And like, if somebody's going to sit there and say, oh, no, he isn't, that's going to piss me
Yes,
off.
yes.
100%. That was the Dems' problem, I think,
Yes,
in a lot of
around-
ways.
yes.
With
around
Trump is
yeah.
not
Yes.
acknowledging it. So I give her credit that she's actually going like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, a lot of people are supporting him. But she, I thought, made a really good point where she was like, I don't like these, these images are violent.
Yes,
And I'm
100%.
concerned about these leading to violent behavior. And I'm like, I really don't like all of you people who are like supporting Spencer, who are like, I feel whatever way. And then you're going around and liking these videos that are
Yeah.
depicting a black woman being
Yes.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as like a supervillain. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm really not okay with that.
Yeah,
and like,
I agree.
it's actually making me more fired up to say like, I'll probably vote for Karen Bass, which everyone can get mad at me. I've been
know.
embarrassed to say it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's such a taboo around it, and that's the other part of it. I think there's a lot of people quietly right now who know I'm supporting Nithya Raman, I'm supporting Karen Bass, but they've made it so we can't say it. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, let's say it.
I'm going to vote for Karen Bass. And you know what? Her standing up and saying those things on CNN made me like her more.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean, like, it's so, it also just shows us, I think, where campaigns are going. You know what I mean? Like, they are
Yes.
so compelling, these videos. Like, it's hard not to get
Are
sucked
they?
in. I mean, like, I guess, like, in terms of, like, okay, hear me out.
It's just not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I'm like too smooth brained at this point, but like I'll stop and watch that AI slop stuff, Like I guess compelling in the same way as like anything is, Like it's just it sucks you in, but like he doesn't have any substance. There's nothing in any of those videos or in anything that he said that you're like, yeah, I understand why you are the solution to the problem.
And the
in
irony
LA.
about the AI use and water consumption leading to droughts, leading to fires, wildfires, in fact.
Interesting.
Well, let me ask
Interesting.
you this, Sarah. Do you think people also, too, can see these AI videos and think they're real?
Well, that's disappointing, but probably yes.
Like, especially if you're like, and I know this is not who's able to vote for Spencer, but like if you're like 15 and you see that.
Yes.
Like,
No, I think they're smarter. I think
that's
it's the
actually
boomers.
probably true.
It's the
Yes,
boomers.
The boomer. No, that's probably true. But the other thing that I would say, and I think I have an image of it, is that there's, I think a lot of the support that we're seeing for Spencer is coming from people who do not live in Los Angeles.
100%.
Who can't even vote in this race. So this is a billboard in Georgia.
No.
By the way, the other thing they keep saying is I keep seeing people being like posting these videos of, by the way, I sent you one last night of this woman and I was like, babe, you wouldn't last a fucking, like,
Yeah.
you remember when George pretends that he lives in New York City or
Yes,
he
yes,
pretends
yes,
that
yes.
he's visiting New York City
Yes.
and like he pretends it because it's making everyone be nice to him. And then someone's like, you wouldn't last a day here. And like, honestly though, all of these, and I don't mean it because there's people defecating on the street, which like occasionally there is, but like, a lot of these people would not last a fucking minute here because you could not compete with the level of like, if for every fucking shitty MS Now person, there's someone who's running fucking just like
laps around.
Just like,
yes.
And you know, I think about this all the time. I used to know somebody. Well, actually, I didn't know. My father knew him, but who used to say, "New York is the greatest city in the world. New York is the worst city in the world."
Correct.
And that's
100%.
the same fucking thing with
100%,
LA.
Yes.
100%. Can I just throw out there, because you make a really good point about the AI and like the LA fires of it all. The other thing is, another major issue happening in LA right now is that the film industry, which was for a long time LA's bread and butter, is shrinking. Like you can physically see it here in LA. There are a few things filming here. There are fewer people getting writing jobs. And a big question there is how AI is going to replace it. And so Spencer Pratt, who wants to, revitalize LA, like his biggest, campaign boost being the thing that's going to eat up Hollywood is, I think, just like a misunderstanding.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's a good one.
Well, speaking of AI,
next on the docket, there's been a lot of backlash, but perhaps not enough backlash. There's a new data center being approved in northern Utah that is, get this, twice the size of Manhattan. Is that crazy? You're the one who pointed this out to me. It's like, that's huge. The facility will require more power than the entire state of Utah currently consumes and suck up a significant amount of water in an area that has had severe drought, and like we've seen firsthand, you more than anybody, what droughts can do to people's lives. But what I really want to talk about, because I think we have more perspective here, is meanwhile, a slew of middle-aged white women have been taking over social media to talk about how much we all need AI and how actually it's like a quite safe thing for us to be investing in. And what's the problem here?
Upload all your financials, Mel Robbins told us.
Well, okay, let's watch that. So we've heard from Reese Witherspoon. We've heard from Demi Moore. I saw a random clip of like Molly Sims in a way that makes me think that these women are being paid. But let's watch Mel Robbins tell you why you should trust AI really quick.
Talk about this Harvard study and the shocking statistic that up to 40% less women are adopting AI at the rate that men are. Women, especially if you're my age, I'm 57 years old, you cannot be left behind. When it comes to using technology that is shaping the way that work is evolving and that you're lifing it better, oh my God, you have to lean in. Since I've been talking about on the podcast, I can't believe how many of you are trying AI and what you're saying. There are no stupid questions. Now I have a
No, just stupid technologies.
She is partnering with Microsoft. Like she's the one who she has come forth and actually said it. But this combination of Mel Robbins thing, which is like, peddling sort of like lame, social,
This is like her whole shtick.
This is her whole shtick, is like she's going to sell you something that is like very basic and not science-backed. She has no background. But
this Harvard study
my God, which by the way, I read the study. I read the study.
Of course you did.
Just because something's a Harvard study and someone fucking printed out the PDF for you doesn't mean.
But also that women aren't adopting. It's like, let's think about that.
Well,
maybe it's because women are thinking more critically about this.
The study has some of the reasons. One of the reasons in this specific study is like basically perception at work. And there's, there's a great MIT study right now that's showing the atrophy
of your brain.
Like,
yes.
You can, like, I think you as our resident doctor can say, well, like, anybody can do a study and prove one small section of data.
Absolutely. And actually that they're not kind of coming up or doing this technology, that women aren't kind of quick to it, I think signals more about how women think about things more critically. They're able to slow down. They're able to say, hey, are there pros and cons to this? And maybe I'm not going to launch into it. Like, I think even the energy consumption, it's like, okay, we're going to have AI centers so we can all live like in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. Is that the goal?
It ignores so much. I also think what's interesting, like not only that women aren't adopting it, but that there's clearly some sort of campaign out there to get women to adopt it, I think is also...
Well, I've been approached for it.
I know you have.
Oh, wow.
Well, but what I was going to say is, and then I want to hear about you being approached, is that I think that women are these social keepers.
Yes.
That like, if we as women are like, actually morally and ethically, we think this is a good thing and we want this in the future, then like society writ large is more likely to adopt it. But tell us about you being approached, because you get these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, I got an offer. I actually got 2 offers in 1 week to promote AI. Yeah. And like not like I also got an offer last week. I told you about this. That was for an app that really heavily relies on AI. And so that there was that. And then this week, I actually haven't told you this yet. I got an offer to do something about like a health app that uses AI. So that's in about a span of 2 weeks. I've gotten 4 AI offers. So you guys, I haven't accepted them. So the least you can do is follow the fucking limit.
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Jesus Christ. But the one that I found to be most egregious was the one that wasn't actually promoting a product. It just wanted me to talk about how
Important
AI
it
is good.
Yep.
Well, they're framing it as it's inevitable, and
Well,
it's not.
right.
let's talk about, you know what? I haven't really shared this, but one of the things that the video had to have in it was that we have to beat China.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. That is, by the way, Trump has been meeting with Xi Jinping in China all week. Like, this is a clear thing. It does feel a little bit like Rosie the Riveter, we can do it. Like, if women get into the workforce, and like, we too can beat China, you know?
Yeah, and like, here's the thing. This would have covered my rent for 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, like,
That's a values aligned girly.
Integrity.
Dude, it fucking sucks,
I know, but
Oh,
did you hear that, Katie Tur?
It's the long
That's
game.
what integrity looks like.
It is the long game. And also, too, it's like, it's just, you know, I think what's really scary is that there are ways that you can work with content creators and pay them and not have to disclose because of the way that regulations are set up.
Yeah.
So when Reese Witherspoon's like, I'm not promoting anything,
Yeah.
it's like,
Just
well,
an idea of-
right. And so you don't have to tell us that. And so I saw Sophia Amoruso,
Yes.
who founded
Girl
Nasty.
boss.
Yeah, girl boss.
She took it down. She had an AI video that she took down, but apparently she called us all a bunch
Remorse.
of Luddites
Yeah.
because
Great.
of that.
Fantastic.
But I just would like to read you something, Sophia, that I found that you wrote.
Oh,
Okay?
Pray tell.
I haven't posted this yet because you're going to be pissed.
we're spicy this morning.
So basically, Sophia, this is from June 2022. Remember that? It was on your LinkedIn when you were headed to an NFT conference. Yeah, because NFTs, it used to be NFTs. Then you guys all realized you're all going to get fucked by that. And so you stopped doing it. So this is what you were doing. You were going to an NFT conference and you wrote this. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I promise this is good.
This, by the way, is the woman who told us all to like be girl bosses and like Sheryl Sandberg, like lean
Yes,
in.
yes.
This is so.
This is why we have treadwives.
100%. Yes. And like it's so. It's such a manipulation.
Yeah.
It's such a
Well,
manipulation.
it's a caricature of sort of womanhood.
And she had this post up where she was like, "Oh, you know, the ones who support it are quiet, but they know that I'm making the right decision." Okay, got it. Okay. First of all, ready for this one? This is her post from 2022 about the pandemic. The pandemic happened. It was a dream come true. Oh, you know,
That's every LinkedIn post.
people are gonna die, but like, so what?
It's the positive reframe.
But then she's headed to this crypto conference and she says, Jesus Christ, why can I not find it? So I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting myself in the wild. I know very little and also happen to be something people either love or hate. NFTs. Yup. Okay, let me get this again. I'm going to this NFT conference and the metaverse and crypto. Yup. A vintage wearing Luddite among a sea of mostly men broing down on the future of maybe something, but also maybe nothing. So, okay.
Yeah.
Like Luddite.
A little projection.
You were a Luddite in 2022. Now in 2026, we're a bunch of Luddites for questioning
or could it
something.
be that it's useful for some purposes and it just needs to stay in its lane and it's not that big?
That's
it.
I mean, that's how I feel. It's like, look, it is hard. It's like
Don't
AI
try to
is
make
out
fetch
there.
happen.
Stop trying to make fetch happen, and also like don't like you are ignoring big things. Like you made the big like it does take up huge energy and huge water, and
Tahoe doesn't have an energy supplier in 2027.
Say more.
Because so the city of Tahoe no longer has an energy supply. They're going to have to figure something out because it's going to data centers. 2027, lights out, Tahoe.
And that's on you, Mel Robbins. And that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw the clip of Demi Moore and I haven't had a chance to make a video about it yet, but basically she's like, there's nothing to fear with AI. And I'm like, yeah, guess what? I'm going to drive you to Boxtown, Memphis, okay? And you can drive around there and you can go to the people who are dealing with asthma, who are worried about the cancers coming from Elon's 2 massive data centers there. And you can tell them, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear when you're Demi Moore and you can get the best healthcare in the world and you look like you're fucking 22,
but like slightly...
Yeah, with the arms, you know.
Well, no, but I'm like, you're always going to be safe.
You're going to be fine.
Demi Moore's always going to be safe. Yeah. She doesn't have to worry about a data center opening in
unless
her
her second home is in Tahoe.
She doesn't have to worry about jobs.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. So
no,
anyway.
I think that's the thing with all of these women is it's like, it's one thing to use it and have complicated feelings about it. It is another thing to be out there purposefully
slinging it.
Not just
Wait,
slinging
can we
it.
address the comments?
Okay.
People in the comments are like, you realize you're using AI in data centers right now. You guys, the amount of data, like the amount of AI and the amount of like data center power that's used for social media versus like versus like you guys putting in every random thought you have into ChatGPT is vastly fucking different. And also like the other thing is like you can do the climate piece, or you can just do the studies like that are showing that people are getting fucking dumber.
Yeah.
Like you guys are getting dumber using this thing.
Well, also just like, yeah, okay, sure, I get it. But like I am not out here telling you to use it, right? Like there's a difference between being like, this is a technology that's come our way and like experimenting with it, trying it, and also going out and being Mel Robbins, who has like something like 12 million followers, where she gives people mental health advice that she has no business giving, then also giving advice on using AI, telling you that you're going to be left behind,
and putting your sensitive information in it.
That she is
Right,
getting
your financial documents. She wants you to put all your financial documents into this Microsoft Copilot. You guys realize that's fucking data mining.
that she is getting paid for, right? Like that she is getting paid to tell you to do. I think like that is my problem here. This is not to shame people in the audience using AI, or it's to think critically about how you're using it, and to think critically about specifically the women that they are clearly paying to tell you that you need to get on board or shut up.
Yeah, it's just some nuance, and it's not inevitable.
Anyway.
Finally, a little good news, though, for women.
Yay!
Not all bad. Not all bad.
God.
PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, is finally getting a new name that will hopefully help more women actually get a diagnosis. And the name is now officially this week, polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. I know it's still a mouthful.
Say that 3 times
PMOS or PMOS, but why it's really important is because the other name really had physicians like looking at the ovaries, and it was something that happened during fertility. But frankly, the metabolic, the hormonal aspects of this are so much more important. Adolescents struggle with this. It's not a fertility issue at all.
Oh, okay.
It affects inflammation, your skin, your hair, your hormones, your mood, everything. So this is really fantastic. The World Health Organization actually estimates that 10 to 13% of reproductive age women around the world have PMOS, but an estimated 70% don't know they have it.
I have always thought that I have what is now called PMOS.
Yes.
I've always thought, like, I've always had, I've had cysts. Mm-hmm. Like, I've struggled with cysts before, dermoid cysts. It was like a nightmare because, I would go into doctors' offices and they would be like, I don't know, take an Advil. Like, I would be in and out of the ER. They took my appendix out. And then they found that I had a cyst the size of a grapefruit.
Women's health, people.
Women's health.
So under-researched, under-studied, it's just a name change, but it took like a decade, thousands of experts, patients to really think like maybe this name will allow people to get the diagnosis earlier versus sort of like, let me look at your ovaries, which isn't even a requirement. And they're not even cysts, it's follicles.
That's
like,
right.
It's misnamed for years.
So what are some of the symptoms? Like now that I'm like, hey, is this me? Because I get intense hormonal, like my skin like goes crazy around my periods.
So skin issues, hair growth in places that, shouldn't be, sort of male pattern. There's hair thinning. There's increased risk of diabetes, frankly, and there's an inflammation issue, and also 2 to 3 times risk of depression, anxiety. So it's actually kind of like systemic. And what's so exciting, even about the name change, I've been using GLP-1 agonists in this population. People are like, but it's an ovary issue. It's like, no, actually, it's an inflammation issue. And it really is very helpful. But there's a lot of other kind of great treatments. But if you don't get the diagnosis, you won't get them.
That's right. Yeah.
What is like the number one symptom that people start to have that allows doctors to diagnose this?
So they maybe don't ovulate and they have weird menstrual periods
Okay.
is one. But I think people complain the most about skin issues, that hair growth, kind of feeling like they can't ever keep their weight. Like it's always fluctuating.
Okay, so
And
there's a lot of
actually
weight
leads to some eating disorders.
Okay.
Yes. And also hormonal issues. So we see a lot of mood issues.
And how does it show up? Like, what's the sort of best indicator? Is it blood work? Is it like, what is?
It's a clinical exam. It's having to ask the question. So you can do blood work because sometimes testosterone is elevated. But apart from that, it could just be the clinical signs.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I think that like with all of these, there's such, I've had this before, like I said, I've had this where it's like, they're like little girl issues. Like, okay,
I know.
you have
There was
some
a
acne.
dismissal. Right.
Yeah.
right.
And like when I was having cysts, like I was in like level, like screaming, like true,
like the new season of Beef.
no, but like exactly.
Yeah.
And it has affected, like this is personal, but like it's affected my fertility. It's like, it's scary. I lost an ovary in the end. And it's because I like, you know,
Your
would
other
go,
ovary will work overtime.
and I froze my eggs and I love her so much. And there's a million ways to have babies and families and like, it will be okay. But I will forever resent a medical
Yes.
system that looked at me over and over and over again and were like, take an Advil.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
We're done with that trash.
It is trash.
Yes.
It is trash. And like, hey, Mel Robbins, if you want to get on something with your platform, maybe this
Yeah.
is one thing.
Women's health research.
Women's health research.
This Harvard study has shocking data. 40%. I'm like,
This was a
shut the-
Lancet study, by the way, Mel Robbins.
Yeah, what is Lancet? I saw that.
It's a British journal that's
Okay.
storied and phenomenal.
Storied and phenomenal. I mean, by the way, meanwhile, they want to like take away SSRIs. They want, you know, like, it's like, you know, these things. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I also, though, keep going back to the fact that like health insurance is getting so much more expensive.
Yes,
so
look
it's
at
like,
your premiums.
it's like, so, I mean, anything that can make somebody get a diagnosis faster, I'm like
Yes.
all for. Like,
Not like
Hey,
I think the
man.
average is like 7 years, maybe longer to get a diagnosis.
to get a diagnosis.
Wow.
It's similar for endometriosis too, I
Exactly.
think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a similar issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like it's hormonal, it's inflammatory, it affects so much that I have a whole other soapbox for that one.
And we don't take it seriously. This is another thing. And like, I just assume there's a lot of women in our audience who like, I remember when I got my IUD.
Yeah.
Excruciatingly painful. And they were
me
like,
too.
take an Advil. And I feel like with
I was
all,
I couldn't drive. I was in the bathroom, doubled over.
it was
I'm so excited though that that's changing.
That's changing.
exactly like
That
it
is changing.
It is all starting to change, but like with all of these things with endometriosis, because I just read Fame Sick, the Lena Dunham book, where she talks a lot about her experiences. She had a similar experience to me, where it's just like doctor after doctor,
Dismissal.
person after person is like,
right.
"Oh,
No matter how
honey,
rich, what access, it's
it
the same
doesn't-
story.
It's the same. It's just like our pain is not taken seriously, and because we don't have male anatomy, they're like, I don't know. I guess it's your appendix because I know what that is. You know, like they just.
That's
it's
bananas.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm glad this is a win.
This is a win.
A win.
You gotta
A win
take
is
the
a win.
wins.
A
win
Yeah,
is a
a
win.
win is a win.
A win
Yeah.
is a win.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have some time for some listener questions and some grab bag?
Yeah, let's do a little grab bag. Well, actually, somebody wants to know, Sarah, and I feel like you can't like give up, but they're like, what does Dr. Oreck think of metformin? Metformin.
I think it's okay. It's like one of the first lines that we do use for PMOS, but if it's not working, there's other alternatives,
What is it?
GLP-1s, but always talk to your doctor.
What is metformin?
I was on metformin and I did not respond well to it, and I've had a lot of friends.
It helps
who-
with insulin sensitivity
Yeah.
issues. So it's actually diabetes medication.
Okay.
But it can help with because there's insulin sensitivity issues with PMOS.
I see. So it's similar to a GLP-1.
Yeah, it's not as effective.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I was having like a lot of reaction to it that was like it wasn't worth what I was treating to do it, and you have to take it twice a day.
A lot of GI upset.
Yeah. And so I was just like, oh, this is not it.
for me.
And
Not
I was
it.
reading like, I mean, but like I was reading it was like very standard. And like what I was treating it for, it was like not the symptoms weren't worth the reward.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what's
yeah.
hard is like we just don't have that many because we don't do the research.
Right.
Yes, because
Yeah.
we think that women should just take an Advil. So if you are on YouTube especially, you can drop your questions and comments. Vienna will put them up on screen. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, we're keeping an eye out. Harder to find them there. So if you want to come to YouTube, that's the best way to get your questions for Sarah, to get your questions about stories of the week, to get, hey, we're here for advice too. Like,
yeah, if anybody's got a problem, we won't solve it, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. And like, you know, we have some life experience under our belts. We got some
let's
things
do
to
some
say.
headlines. Throw up some headlines, Vienna. Let's see what's going on. What else is happening in the world?
What else is happening in the world?
Oh, Britney Spears barks, yells, and wields knife at LA restaurant. You guys, to quote our friend Kathy Griffin, you freed Britney, but you didn't have a plan. Listen. Britney is fresh out of rehab, and apparently she was at this restaurant the other night, and now like reports are saying like, no, it wasn't as intense as people were saying it is. But like, here's the thing. Britney has a storied history with knives. Remember her knife performance? Remember the knives?
I do.
You guys, here's the thing. Like, I want Britney to be free Britney all the way. I'm all for it. But I do think that Britney has some pretty serious mental health issues, and anybody denying that and thinking that Britney can just go back to like who she was in even like 2015
circus era.
Like it's just not the way it is. And I think I know
that conservatorship wasn't working for her, but
right.
There's something else. These are I hesitate to laugh because I do think there's so much suffering here and mental illness. Maybe substance use too.
I think it's a lot of substance use, and like also like, you know, she's said like they would put me on stuff that I didn't want to be on, and I totally agree that's not fair, but I think there's got to be a treatment plan for her. And
actually this is a huge problem in the state. Like when you think about unhoused individuals, like this is part of it, that we are so on the side of civil liberties and people aren't getting the treatments that they need.
Oh,
and
that's a good point.
Then they're out and
that's
suffering.
A really good point.
Well, speaking of the Spears family, I did see that Maddy Wilson, who is Jamie Lynn Spears' daughter, had a high school graduation.
Which is
so wild because
I
like
remember that teen pregnancy.
That was the wildest.
That was like,
teen pregnancy was like a big thing then because
yes.
like teen mom was a big
that's
thing.
right. Yes.
Like, and I remember when the rumblings started, I was on vacation and people were like saying like, I think that she's pregnant. And people were like, no way is she pregnant.
Yeah.
And then it came out that she was pregnant.
And she was on that TV show about like being in a really cool LA high school.
Yeah, Zoe 101.
Zoe 101,
and
that's right.
She, she had the baby Maddy. And to be honest, like Maddy looks like she has done really well. She's going to college to play softball at a D1 school.
Hell yeah,
and
Maddy.
I believe this is her with her cousin Sean Preston. I think it's Sean Preston.
Can you believe that these are like adults?
Britney's son.
I cannot.
I know.
I'm actually like, even though I know people are like, I hate Britney's family, I hate Jamie Lynn, and Jamie Lynn has said like, listen, my sister
People
was
do
having
the best they can do.
Yeah.
She was 16
Yeah.
with a baby
Yeah.
and a shitty partner, and her sister was having a mental breakdown. She's like, I didn't know everything.
In the public eye on the internet for the first time.
Right.
You know, like nobody knew any. What we
Unless
as
they're
a
parents,
culture
so.
have done
Right.
to Britney and I guess her sister by osmosis is like, it's just
Tragic.
It's tragic. Yeah. Like it was such a firestorm of like the internet.
Oh, that's not Sean Preston, but you guys, maybe this is her boyfriend, but I will say this. One of the boys was at the graduation, which I think is great. That's lovely. But so was the dad in the wheelchair with the leg cut off from diabetes.
There you go. Speaking of diabetes.
He's like, I wasn't listened to by my healthcare provider. No,
He probably rejected
I
insulin.
have PMOS.
But what I will say though is, you know, Britney has said a lot of things about her sister. One of the things that she's like, my sister got up there and sang my songs. And I'm like, well, can you imagine how many times Jamie Lynn had to be second fucking fiddle to Britney? Her whole life was being, so like, she's like, it wasn't cool that my sister
And then
got up.
potentially like caretaker.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like you kind of put your family into the spotlight, Britney, whether you were totally wanted that or not, but like you made Jamie Lynn's life vastly different than it ever could have been. And I love that Maddy has what looks like a very normal. Yeah. And like loves sports and is going to play sports in college, which like that's the fucking real deal.
Yeah,
man.
right. That's yep.
Like, so anyway, congratulations,
Love
Maddy.
that for her.
Love that for the Spears family. What else we got on the docket? What's this?
Yeah.
What is this? I can't.
I see golden arches.
Yeah, sorry, we can't
Kimberly
see.
Guilfoyle
And
is
a
at the
MAGA
opening
face.
of a McDonald's, which, as a girl who did go and get hotcakes last week, which, by the way,
That's an exciting day for Greece.
yeah, it looks like, yes, she opened a McDonald's in Greece. Okay, cool.
I'm telling you, I've been to Greece. That McDonald's they do not need. They have the best food on the planet.
That's a good point. Every time I think about Kimberly Guilfoyle, she was married to Gavin Newsom.
I cannot.
And when she was
But
married to
before,
Gavin Newsom,
she had a
was like,
different face.
She was like a fresh-faced 90s
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah,
It is like the ultimate MAGA face. Wild.
I can't.
As a reminder, like, please drop your questions. We are here for it. What else we got in the grab bag, Vienna?
Ooh.
Okay, I
Well,
read
Jack,
this article.
why don't you answer my DMs anymore? Let's start there.
Yeah, okay. This New York Times article, Jack Schlossberg, inside his campaign. I read it. It was super juicy. And it was exactly what I thought was probably happening on the inside of his campaign, which is that, like, it sounds chaotic. It sounds like he doesn't have a clear direction or any experience in leading these types of things. And the people around him, there's massive turnover. He's hard to wrangle. Having been a wrangler of principals in my life, I know what that is like. He changes his mind a lot. And, you know, something that we were talking about offline is like, there's just too many people running for Congress in New York right now in a place that is like clearly Democrat.
Yeah.
You know, like they're all running against one another in like nitpicky ways in like very
A lot of noise.
It's a lot of noise. This is why I'm sort of like, Jack, why? Like, what exactly are you bringing to the table on the Upper West Side of New York?
Right,
Well,
that's
the family
other
doesn't
thing.
seem to work with a plan.
Does not seem to work with the plan. He has a trust fund. Like, he doesn't
Maybe
seem
it's
to
a-
work,
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, the kid, he's not a kid,
kid.
but he's deeply grieving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He
His-
did. Yeah.
His family is deeply grieving,
Yes.
and I appreciate that, like, he wants to do something, like,
Yes.
you know,
Yep.
bigger than himself.
Yep.
But when I keep thinking about, like, just the tragedy, you know, that they've been through,
Yeah.
and, like, you know, as somebody who lost their mom at a young age, I just, like, in the way that it affects, like, the
the
other
structure,
family
everything.
members, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine losing a sibling that
No.
young.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so my
Yep.
heart just goes out to him
Yep.
and to his whole family. But at the same time, I think, like, I feel like this Congress seat was not the right move for Jack at this time.
Agreed.
And also, too, like, people are like, I'm surprised he's not more progressive. Why won't he say free Palestine? I'm like, you guys don't know who the donor base is up in the Upper West
Yeah,
Side, do you?
right.
Because the people, like, you guys, I think it's awful that he won't say free Palestine. And I know that that's what you expected him to say, but he has donors who are like, if you say free Palestine, we will pull all your funding that we're giving you. And that's who his donor base is. And I think, like, he's disappointed a lot of people, but they didn't realize, like, what kind of seat he was running for.
Which is why, by the way, I'm like, why run? Like a
Exactly.
Democrat was
That's what I mean.
right. Like a Democrat was going to win this seat no
Right.
matter what.
Yeah.
It was, you know, like it was reliably going to be blue. If you don't have something new to contribute to the conversation, except that you just want the Kennedy name to continue being in Congress. But yeah, it's both. I just think, I don't know. He has by far the most name recognition, you know, like he's all over national
Yes.
media, but it doesn't ever feel to me like it's because he is the most interesting or qualified candidate. And, you know, he was clearly pissed about this article.
He should have, like, tried, like, being in the nonprofit space a little bit more,
Yes.
or running
Just
for
done something.
Done
city council.
something.
Yeah.
I just don't think
A build-up.
Like,
Yep.
do you want to hold public office, or do you want to run an election?
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yes.
Which
That's
is, like,
right.
similar to Spencer. So
Yep, 100%.
Anyway, my heart goes out to him in some ways.
Oh, totally.
And in many ways, but I also, you know, think that, like, all his comments right now are like, people are so disappointed in him.
Yeah, yeah. And that, you know, it's also probably a rude awakening for him,
Yeah.
you know? Okay, we have time for 2 more headlines.
Yay! Let's see.
Reflecting pool.
The reflecting pool. What will my reflection show?
Won't be featured in AD.
Yeah. So great, Rebecca, tell us what's happening here.
Okay, so the Lincoln Memorial where this is where Martin Luther King gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Famously, Jenny and Forrest Gump ran to one another. This is like a very famous memorial. They wanted to renovate it, restore it. Sure, fine. Trump gives a no-bid contract, which means that like he didn't look at a bunch of different contractors to make this project.
Which could be illegal. We should ask Brendan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. Yeah, surprise. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So he
set
gives
up
it
for
to
money laundering.
100%. So he gives it to people who did work at at one of his golf courses, and they decide to paint it what they call American flag blue.
Wow.
And what has happened?
I would disagree with that.
Well, what it looks like to me is airplane toilet blue.
Yes.
right?
It's
all I
like
can
toilet cleaner blue.
Isn't that
Yeah,
what? Like
100%.
that's all I can see at the end of the day. So like one, I think it looks terrible.
It wasn't blue enough?
It didn't have any paint at the bottom.
No, but that's the point. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, does it really need to be
It needs
blue?
to look like a swimming pool in Florida?
That's right. Well, look who you're talking
his,
to. That's his
you know,
vibe. That's his vibe. But
I don't think he sits by the pool very often, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I
I love sitting by a
No,
pool.
that orange color is artificial.
Yeah.
But so not only does it look like toilet water, they're having massive issues with it. Like they
they
haven't been
are.
able to figure out. It started out as $1 million project. It's now a $13 million project. And Trump has been tweeting like, actually, I don't even know these guys.
Here's the thing.
Oh
I
my
feel like
God.
there's not many things that I look at and say, I could do that. But I think I could do that. Like, I think I
Yes.
could get the right, like, color scheme going and I could paint the bottom of that pool.
no
and
color.
If the three of us did it, what, like 2 weeks?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I just feel like
This is like defacing a national monument.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Is like in some ways, this and some of the other restoration projects, I feel a little bit like
Destructive.
destructive, but I also kind of feel like good. I'm like, you know what? We should be embarrassed. There should be a stain on all of us.
Yes.
Like we voted for this, and
toilet
there should
bowl
be
stain.
it's a toilet bowl stain, and we should have to live with the visual reminder of the decision that we made for this country collectively, not the
I'm
decision
not.
that I
we.
made.
I'm not in that we.
Yeah, well, I mean, but by we,
Yes,
I mean
yes.
like we have
The
stood by
collective.
the collective we. I've never
Yeah.
voted for the guy, and I've spoken out since
Oh, that's
2016.
so
But like,
disappointing.
it's just.
But I did
so-
vote in The Apprentice, you guys.
All right, one more headline.
I don't think you can vote in The Apprentice.
I don't think
just
so
made that
either.
up.
I think it's. Do you feel like Trump would want you to be able to
No,
vote?
there was no. Democracy was never on his mind.
Should we do one more headline?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is so awful.
This
Wait,
one's
explain
awful.
this to me. I don't know what this is.
Well, Hayden Panettiere has I believe, a memoir coming
Yes.
out, and I really want to kick it to Sarah here, but like basically she's talking a lot about her experience with postpartum depression. And, you know, one of the things that she's been really criticized for over the years is the fact that her daughter lives, I would say, full time with her husband, her ex partner who lives somewhere in Europe. And like that is one of those things that women get vilified for.
yeah.
And so I'd love to just kick it to you for
but
a
in
second.
that clip, when unfortunately she gives Jay Shetty the interview, which we can go on about him.
I'm sure he'll be talking about AI any minute.
Grifter. And but she actually talks about abuse that happened, like on a yacht and at a very young age. So it's like it doesn't come from thin air. I'm sure she struggled a lot with mental health, and here's sort of some of the scaffolding for that.
Yeah, another young woman
Trauma.
that we saw in the public eye that
Yes.
we just sort of like ate alive and is now an adult woman struggling with the consequences that we're like, throw her away.
Exactly.
I want to talk for a second, though, about this idea that children are always better off being full time with their mothers.
Oh, for sure not. Yeah.
Because that is something that really does, like, if a woman makes the decision of like, you know what, primary custody is going to be with the father, that's the better decision for all of us, that woman becomes vilified. If
I don't know if it was her choice. Who knows what was happening?
well, it sounds like it's now sort of like there might be an opportunity where time could be split more.
Yeah.
But she's like, my daughter's really content there.
Yeah.
She lives in Europe. She's lived there her whole life.
Which, by the way, is the kind motherly
yes.
thing to do. To be like, if my daughter is happy,
If
that's
a man
more
did
But
that,
it's also
though,
about
no one
like
would care.
It's also about like maternal characteristics,
Right.
and those don't have to be in a woman.
Yeah.
They can be in a man.
Right.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Men can be soft. Men can be warm.
Yeah.
Men can be motherly.
Yes.
But I think what people want now is they're like, well, you're better now. So like, shouldn't she be with you full time?
She says she doesn't want to disrupt her daughter's life.
Yeah, that's the
I mean,
kind
it's the
thing
most
to do.
altruistic and loving thing.
Yeah.
Also, like, she has Hayden Panettiere, I hope, has more money than me. So it's a lot easier for her to say, I'm going to spend a month of the summer in Europe.
Yes.
And, you know, like,
travel,
like it sounds like she's with her daughter quite a bit. It sounds like the partner that former partner is a great dad. Like, I don't know. I think it's so fucked when I remember this happening with a certain Real Housewife and who the dad got primary custody. And then I met somebody.
Salt Lake.
Actually, not Salt Lake, but I don't want to like give up the person who had this conversation with me. Okay. But
there is a mom on Salt Lake though that doesn't have custody.
Oh, this person. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I think this one wasn't as extreme as that issue, but basically I ended up talking to somebody who knew the kids involved and they were like, it's the right decision that they're with their father.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that their mother is a horrible person, but also too, why, when it's the opposite way,
it's fine.
We don't blink a fucking eye.
We are still in a country on both ends that we just like cannot figure out how to break out of gender roles.
Yes.
Like our brains are just so conditioned to be like, well, that's the way it is, you know, and like in ways that degrade men too. It's like, as you said, it's like, these are good
fully capable
fathers, fully capable who want to do it, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you're a kid who spent a lot of time with
a dad.
Just your dad.
Totally.
I am a kid who spent time where my dad was the only parent in the household. And like, I mean, I'm fucked, but I'm fine.
I'm fucked in like, you know, normal ways. Yeah.
But like, I think I've always really resented this idea that you can only get this from a mother and that it all has to be on her.
Yep.
So anyway,
should we do some moments and then get out of here?
Yeah, let's do some moments. Oh my God. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I was talking about Orange County. Somebody said that in the comments.
Do you have a moment?
Yeah, and I apologize. I didn't send you a photo, Vienna, but maybe you can pull it up really quick. My moment is the return of Clay Aiken. You guys, I'm loving the return of Clay Aiken. He was on American Idol the other night. I'm a Claymate. I'm a late in life Claymate.
Wait, is that a thing?
Oh.
Yes, that's what they were called.
Really?
That's such a thing. You guys, I love Clay. Second season of American Idol, comes in second to Ruben Studdard, who continues to be his best friend in the entire world. They are still best friends. I fucking love it.
Why didn't they ever have a reality TV show?
They should have.
Because it was the wrong time. That's the thing.
But I'd watch it now.
I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, he has a new song called Rewind. And I like weirdly kind of love it. And here he is.
Oh, he looks fabulous.
He looks so good. And it's so funny because somebody was like, he put up a clip of the song, right? And this is the last thing I'll say. You put up a clip of the song and somebody was like, I can't wait to see the full thing on Idol this week. And he goes, it's Idol. You know, it's only going to be 1 minute and 29 seconds. Clay, we would love to have you on the show. And by the way, you guys, Clay has run for office in North Carolina twice. Oh. And I mean, talk about somebody who I feel like, you know, we look at somebody like a Jack Schlossberg and I'm like, I feel like Clay was doing it for like all the right reasons.
I agree.
He was the Democratic nominee once.
Yep.
And then he lost in the primary back in 2022 when he ran. So Clay, this is your invitation. Come on the show.
Wow.
If hearts were unbreakable, then I could just tell you where I stand. Yeah, I loved that song. All right.
Wow.
It's a good song.
Yeah. And also like running for in North Carolina, like you're doing something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you're doing something.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
But anyway, I love you, Clay. That's not my best Clay. I can do a better Clay. Yeah. But yeah. What's up with you?
My moment is the Martin Short documentary.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. I just like it's a heart warmer. He's just so freaking talented and so sort of like, I don't know, he just seems like one of those people where you're like, yeah, like this is just his life. You know, like I don't think he's like he's got ups and downs. He's not putting anything on, and like I don't think you know.
Do they talk about Clifford? My favorite. Clifford.
Yes, of course.
Do they really?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I love Clifford. I love Charles Grodin.
Well,
R.I.P.
but they also talk a lot about like you know he's gone through a lot of pain and hardship.
Yeah,
and
both his parents died when he was fairly young.
His parents died. His brother died. His wife died, and now recently his daughter has passed away. Oh. And like you know, I think that the way that you know he's like it's a wash. You know, like I've had beautiful, special, wonderful. Yeah, that's life. And like in some ways, I don't know. It's really easy to look at.
No fame, like fame and fortune didn't change that.
Didn't change that. In the end, like it was just like there's some wonderful things in life, and there's you know just like us.
Look at the comment about Clay.
I don't know. I can't see it, but
lovely to see Ellen back, you guys. Fucking be nice to Clay. You think Ellen dresses that well?
No,
give me a fucking
not
break.
at all.
No, not, and it's probably not a nice person.
Sarah,
Anyways,
what are you? What are you?
I have
having?
two. Supreme Court upholds telehealth access to the abortion pill.
I know.
have to mention that because, that's really important.
Yep.
And then I am loving Zara Larsson. She is a Nordic queen pop star that is dragging Chris Brown.
Oh, nice. It's about fucking time.
And she's doubling down.
why? How did this start?
So it started with her just saying, like, I don't stream Chris Brown. That's not on my playlist because he's an accused and I think convicted abuser.
Yeah.
And sort of like doubling down on that. And, it's staggering that he has a lot of downloads.
Yeah, totally.
And he sells out concerts.
Yep.
And so I love a really strong, confident woman who's on top of it right now saying, like, he's trash, don't listen to him. And that's how you help women.
Amen. Well, I'm going to go listen to Zara
You know how
Larsson.
you help women? Follow the moment.
That too.
That too.
Follow this fucking, especially on YouTube, you guys, for the love of God. Please follow on YouTube.
Please follow on YouTube. Katie Tur specifically follow on YouTube.
And we'll be back on Tuesday with
Brad Lander.
Brad Lander. Oh my God, that's a great guest.
Speaking of New York races. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, follow the moment.
Thanks so much for hanging out. As always, tell a friend to tell a friend about the moment. Bye.
Bye.